What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news for August 6th. No, wait, yeah, August 6th, 2023. It's crazy we're already in August, but this next week we have a new hero coming, and it looks like she is going to be that image that we've seen previously. And her name is Betty from last week's event. So we have some image files, we have some backstory, we have some artwork backstory, and I'm thinking she's going to be like a shadow mage, and I'm really hoping she gives Eloise or Tix a run for her money, because we really need more first E5 heroes that are very good. What's really awesome is we have an account, a free-to-play account, that we can jump on and build her this week, as we have over 2,000 scrolls, and see how she performs in the early game, which is amazing. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so let's start off with what we know in the English versions that have been released, and then we'll move on to the Chinese tap WeChat translation. So it says, behind the design of Betty. Betty is similar to a virus, and viruses don't have entities. Therefore, we gave her a host. Interesting. The red eyes are evidence of her parasitism. So you might see green here. I think this is just like her 5-star version. Honestly, I'm sure the red will come in later on. That is one thing I saw people comment on. I'm like, but she doesn't have red eyes. What? She should, matching all of her outfit. People tried to bind her, but she managed to escape, leaving her body with incomplete shackles and scars from the struggle of freeing herself. You'll be able to see a better image of the blood and everything in a later image. Because the character's background is from a mental hospital, the lunatic asylum we had last week, she can only choose sharp things within reach as weapons. Sharp bone spurs erupt out of her characteristic's flesh after being infected with Betty. So Betty's the the character's not necessarily Betty. It's the okay, that's interesting. It's like I guess you could say it's like Venom from, the comics and stuff. This is interesting. Okay, with Betty, to improve the character's destructive capabilities. The girl was wearing a lovely little gown and didn't seem to mind the bloody cut on her body. While smiling distortedly, she attacked everything around her indiscriminately. Such a stark contrast can better capture the bizarre and unsettling nature of the Betty virus. Man, it's like coronavirus. So yeah, that's really interesting. That's kind of cool. But we have a better thing here. So we have the tap. I basically did like a full translation on this as good as I could, and we kind of imported it right in here. So a lot of this should be about the same. In mental hospitals, Betty is the name that can never be mentioned. The major hospitals have even set up a complete set of emergency plans for this name. Keep casualties to a minimum, but every time Betty appears, there will be a bloodbath. But no one knows what Betty is, but every sick patient claims to be Betty. Oh, so yeah, that's interesting. It seems to be a virus, and it is like some kind of spirit controlling the sick person. Not only the mental patients, but everyone in the hospital. So I guess that's still the insane asylum that we had last week, including the doctors, nurses, and staff may become Betty. Betty and others have a strong sense of destruction with a love beyond imagination. They destroy everything in sight until finally they destroy themselves. So Betty Jane disappeared briefly, and no one knows where she'll come back next. So yeah, this is the part we kind of had in English right here, but it's interesting. Since the background of the character is in a mental hospital, she can only choose sharp objects. After reaching infected with Betty, in order to increase destructive power, sharp bone spurs. Yeah, this is pretty much everything we had in the English one. And we do have a good image file of her here. So now you can kind of see like the blood on the wrapped arms and hands, and she has that weapon right there. She's got the eye patch. You can see bones protruding from like her back or something, as well as her like hips, I guess, kind of like right up by her hips. And you can see this is the shackles she had on in the insane asylum that are no longer there. But what type of hero is this going to be? Well, one thing I was thinking about, wonder if she's going to be like the Transcendence Azrael, where she deals damage to herself to deal damage to others. I don't like that personally. What would really be cool is she has a way to infect the enemies and cause them to do something different, or maybe hurt their own team. much like Star Alchemist Holmes Young is. I'm hoping, though, that she's going to be good first hero because she should be a mage or a ranger, and I'll tell you why. So if we take a look at the current roster of shadow heroes, the most recent 3 we've gotten was Azrael, which was an assassin, Priest with Annabelle, and Ankirimaru with the warrior. Now, this is only going to be our 3rd Transcendence hero for the Shadow faction, the first being Jara, and the most recent being Azrael. And it has been a while since we've had a Shadow Transcendence hero, because we actually got bumped off the list. Both Abyss and Shadow only have 2 in their faction, where we got a 4th in the Light very early because Natalie came at Anniversary. But again, the 2 oldest classes that we've gotten for this faction, number 1, Eloise, which is still to this day one of the best first E5 heroes, which I'm hoping something changes. And previously before that, Tix, who was before Eloise, the best hero in the game. It's like Shadow faction, I think, has some of the best heroes in the game with Ithaca, Tix, and Eloise. Absolutely amazing in the early game. They do, however, suffer when it comes to the Transcendence hero versions, because let's be honest, Azrael is a very niche hero. He has some cheese abilities in PvP. He can do Sealand with Jara, which is cool. Jara is very good in the mid game for any hero, any account that needs a ton of CC. But beyond that, we are really lacking something else too, and that's a really strong mage. If you really look through all these heroes, Eos is a mage, Jara's a mage. Those are the only 2 mages we've had in this entire time. This has been a long time. We're up to what, 17 Transcendence heroes. This is going to be the 18th. We only have 2 mages. One of them was the best CC'er in the world. The other one kind of fell flat. So I'm intrigued to see if it's another mage, if it'll be good. Now, same thing talking about Rangers. Rangers have been kind of pushed into a weird support niche with Scarlet Queen Halora. I mean, heck, we even have Doppelganger Natalia recently. So that kind of leads me to believe maybe not a ranger, since we've already got a ranger. However, again, we don't have too many rangers in here either. Mages do, it would make sense for her to be some sort of mage. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. This is our actual first good look at this hero. And again, I feel like Tix is the oldest hero that in this faction, the oldest class mage. We haven't had one in forever. Jara was the one before that. I'm feeling like Mage is my best bet. And again, I wonder if she like stabs herself to infect others. I would love to see her have an effect much like Gustin's totem, or not totem, the life link, but make it so that they take more than 100% of the damage. So if you're like going up against a team that's like, you know, Doom Terminator Vulcan, and she links to the highest attack enemy, and somehow they take 120% damage of what you take, that would be something really cool to see. So if she is some sort of self-inflicting damage hero, hopefully it's something like that. But let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. As we get more information this week, we'll let you guys know about Betty. See you guys next time.